The 1915 library was small, and over the course of a century it has been almost swallowed up by additions. How much of the original building still exists? What has been changed? What remains the same? The original 1915 building was composed of three parts: a main building with a basement or ground level and 3 floors, bookstacks with a ground level and 5 floors, and a hallway that connected the main building to the bookstacks. The hallway had a ground level and 3 floors. This diagram shows the outline of the 1915 library superimposed on the current first floor of Ellis. Although students do not realize it, as soon as they reach the top of the grand staircase near the west entrance and turn north down the colonnade, they are going through the 1915 book stacks. The stacks fit between the display cases on the west and the donor plaques on the east, and between the metal strip on the south and the freestanding display cases on the north. In 1985, the 1 and 1A floors of these stacks were removed to create the colonnade that joined the old library to the south addition. Most of the other floors in the central stacks have also been reconfigured over the years, but you can still get a good idea of what the stacks originally looked like by going to 2 Central. You can see the original outside wall of the central stacks if you go into 1 West and turn left. The white fire brick you see is the original exterior of the central stacks. If you go south all the way down through the book stacks, you can also see part of the original limestone that faced the south end of the central stacks. When additions were added to the stacks, the windows on the sides were turned into doors. The door to 1 West was once a window. Across from that door is an entryway from the colonnade to the computer lab in the middle of the building, and to the right of that is another entryway. Both these entryways were windows in the 1915 book stacks. The hall that connected the main building to the book stacks was torn down in 1958. The pillars next to the newspapers on the west and the pillars near the entrance to the computers on the east are close to where the walls would have been. You will know you have arrived at the main building when the carpet ends and the floor changes to terrazzo with a pink marble inlay. If you look east and west down the hallway in front of the north door, you can also use the terrazzo floor to determine where the 1915 library ends and where the east and west wings of the library begin. If you look at the floor plan of the 1915 library, you can see that most of the elements on the first floor are the same today. The exhibition hall is still there, although now we consider it as a start of the colonnade. The staircases on either side of the hall are also the same, as is the hallway that runs in front of them. On the west, the women's coat room and toilet are in the same place, although you'll be glad to know that this space was renovated several years ago. The periodicals room and order department have been combined and are now digiprint. The vestibule in front of the north door is unchanged and still has its lovely marble walls. To the east, the reading room and the office of the State Historical Society of Missouri are now circulation. A major change is that the wall was taken out to open the room to the hall. The columns in front of circulation mark where the old wall was located. The biggest change to the first floor was the removal of the men's coat room and toilet. In 1958, they were gutted and 2 elevators were installed to provide access to the newly constructed east stacks. Although most of the building's elements are the same, they look much different today than they did in 1915. This is because in 1915 natural light came into the library through many windows. There were windows all along the south, letting light into the coat room, toilets, stairwells, and exhibition lobby, as well as the seminar rooms on the 2nd and 3rd floor. This model gives some idea of what the exhibition lobby looked like at the time. 2 large windows flank the doors leading to the art seminary room on the south end. Those doors themselves seem to have been flanked by windows reaching to the ceiling, with shades that could be drawn. The west and east stairwells were open to the lobby, and the light from large windows in the stairwells illuminated not only the stairwells, but the exhibition lobby as well. In the middle of this picture, you can see the light coming from those stairwell windows. This is the view of the east stairs, taken close to where digiprint is located today. To the left is the east hallway, and the window at the end is destined to become a door when the east addition is put up in 1958. To the right of that are the doors to the men's toilet and coat room, and then the arched door to the down staircase. The arched door to the up staircase is not visible in this picture. Notice that the stairs are open at the lobby at the first step and also as they rise to the first landing. To the right of the stairs, you can see the bust of James Rawlins, the father of the University of Missouri. The bust is now in Jesse Hall. To the right of the bust and the columns is the entrance to the Art Seminary room. Behind the windows is the hallway that connects to the stacks. Through the window at the top, you can see a side window in that hallway. Today, the openings to the stairwells on both sides of the library are blocked, both where the stairs begin and also on the rise to the first landing. In front of the walls are display cases on both the east and west sides of the library. The doors to the Art Seminary room were removed, and the entrance is now part of the colonnade. The large windows on either side of those doors are also gone, but provide entry to the colonnade. The marble stairs and their wrought iron railings are original to the 1915 library. This model gives an idea of how the staircases might have looked. In the 1915 building, 3 large windows at every half floor brought natural light into the stairs. A walk up the stairs brought changing views, both of the scene outside the library, but of the exhibition lobby as well. When you reached the second floor, you could look up and see the rounded windows at the top. In this photo from the 1957 Savitar, you can see 2 co-eds sitting in front of one of these windows. The bright square on the lower right is the stair post. Although the windows were bricked up, you can still see traces of them in the east stairwell. When the 1958 edition went up, the architect kept one of the windows, but changed it into a door to provide access to 3 East. If you look to the right of the door, you can see the outlines of the 2 other windows. Since they were the highest windows, they have the rounded top, which makes them easier to identify. If you know where to look, you can still see some of the architectural features of the old library. The staircases jutted out from the building on the south end. From the computer area in the middle of the first floor, you can see this jut out, just to the left of the elevators. To the right of the stairwell are the windows to the men's toilet and coat room, and above them are the windows to the seminar rooms. In 1958, they were gutted, and 2 elevators were installed. The windows became the doorways to the elevators. When the 1958 addition was put up, the light court on the west side of the building was covered over, and heating and air conditioning equipment was installed. But amazingly, the back of the library was left intact. This picture shows the windows for the women's restroom on the first floor. And this picture shows the 3 windows in the west staircase. Remember, the windows were located at the half floor. These windows were going down to the basement. Here is a picture of one of the rounded windows at the top of the staircase. The next time you go up the stairs, look for the architectural molding on the first flight. Now you know that it marked off an opening to the exhibition lobby. On the east stairs it has been painted, in the west it has been left unpainted. You might also notice the symbols on the stair posts. They were also used as the front cover for the pamphlet, The New Library, in which the architect described the building. On top of the book, which symbolizes the library, is the lamp of knowledge. Knowledge is only gained by burning the midnight oil in the lamp. Below the book is a laurel wreath, the symbol of victory in the Greek and Roman world. The architect who designed the staircase as well as the 1915 building is telling you, to succeed, come to the library and study hard.